Hi. So this is my first learning analysis journal as we work on this project for educational psychology in a classroom setting. So for the experience section, I just want to sort of talk about since um, this school year has started. I work as a special ed paraprofessional at a ninth and 10th grade high school. And specifically myself, I'm trying to obtain my licensure for secondary language arts. And our sixth period of the day, I have language arts, and I support four special ed students in that class. But those four students are actually and thankfully are pretty autonomous and are able to handle themselves just fine in that class. They don't really need a ton of support. But I do want to focus on four of the students in that class in general and not just the four that I work with. So to introduce them, the first, his name is Braden, and Braden actually is one of my special ed students. He is diagnosed with autism, although he's high functioning. You don't normally see too many outbursts from him. He is extremely smart. He is a very effective communicator when it comes to writing, when it comes to literacy. When it comes to social interactions, not so much. He's very quick to go ahead and dismiss anything that, or anyone, I should say, that he thinks either A, isn't interested in the things that he's interested in, which can be tough because a lot of times he won't give students a chance to even like approach him with things that they're interested in, or any sort of activity for that he either deems is too hard or a group project that he thinks is stupid or doesn't have any merit. The second student I want to talk about, his name is Nick. Nick is your all-American kind of jock student, football player. All he really cares about is sports, and then the weekend he just really wants, his favorite part of school is the last bell ringing for the day. Nick in English class, or in this language arts class, he really just kind of tries to do the bare minimum, get what he needs to so that he's got a passing grade so that he can play football. Nick also likes to kind of flirt with the girls in class, especially this one girl, Mullen, who is my third student I want to talk about. Mullen is an awesome student. She is carefree. She's empathetic. She asks for help when she needs it. She doesn't dismiss things right away. She's always willing to give assignments of one or two chances before she deems it either boring or unhelpful or not productive in some way. And then my last student that I want to talk about, her name is Lexi, and Lexi is also a special ed student of mine that I support. Lexi is a great reader. She's very quiet. She doesn't really talk to anybody. Her writing skills need some work, and that's not to be critical of her. That's really just she's a ninth grader, and it seems that the varying degrees of writing capacity across the board is very different. The experience that I would really like to talk about, though, in learning in this learning what it's like to work with multiple students at the same time, is we do what we call them just paragraph organizers. I work out in White Bear Lake, and we call these the W Bear organizers, and they are basically W Bear stands for what's the information or what's the topic you're talking about. The B stands for background information. E stands for example or evidence. A stands for analysis of that, and then R stands for recap. So again, it's what is it, the background information, evidence, analysis, and recap. And we started reading this story called The Bass, the River, and Sheila Mant. It's basically a story about this boy who is really into fishing and has this summer cottage that he goes to, and he meets this girl named Sheila who he's just wildly enamored with and trying to impress. And basically these W Bear organizers have us write paragraphs where they have to define a character trait of one of the two characters, so whether it's the narrator who doesn't have a name or Sheila Mant herself, and working with them through those 5 topics to kind of talk about what it is. As I watched them work, it's very clear to me that Nick really doesn't care. Braden really likes the assignment, or at side he thinks it's really easy and he doesn't want to actually put much, or he's able to put effort into it and then be done with it right away, and then he doesn't want to go back and correct it. Mullen is pretty easy going with that assignment, and Lexi's very insecure about that. Lexi, as somebody who reads all the time, knows that her writing isn't where it necessarily should be, and so gets anxiety about that. And it's interesting to sort of watch what they are capable of doing, and then watching them know what they're capable of doing. And it's kind of it's awesome to sort of be able to see these four students and the differences in the way that they actually work and they process these things.